I can't believe I made it to the beach today. The water is making the most beautiful sound ever, and I'm on top of this big pile of sand. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to do some writing for my very first post on Now and Zen. If you get me a journal, I will always make the absolute best use of it in the world. This is the one that I got at the Bliss Project, best gift ever, and I'm going to use it to draft some blog posts. How gorgeous is the sunset? It's almost magic. Pure magic, baby, pure magic. Hear the birds, the seagulls? Oh, I'm such a nature girl. Since I was 20 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a traveler. Not a tourist, but a traveler. And if you don't know the difference, a traveler is someone who engages and experiences the local culture. They're not going to all of the hottest, trendiest tourist destinations, but somebody who actually wants to enrich in the culture of the locals and understand people from all around the world and live how they live. And since I was 20 years old, I've been talking about doing things like living on a Volkswagen bus and traveling all throughout America and North America, or living in an ashram, or teaching English in a Spanish-speaking place where I could in turn learn Spanish, or maybe even like an Asian country, anything like that. And I'm 26 now, and I've realized that I have yet to make any of that happen. And in 2018, I pinky swore myself that this was going to be the year that I started saying yes to those things, because I realized that I'm not getting any younger, life isn't going to slow down, and why not now? Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be the right time to go. So I really sat with that thought, and I decided that this was going to be it no matter what. Beginning of 2018 is when it really hit me hard that I hadn't made any of the things on my bucket list come to fruition yet. And I've had over half a decade to do them, so why not? And I really thought about it, and I realized that it was because I never felt like I had the money to do it. I was always waiting to have quote unquote enough money, or to have more money, or to make more before I could allow myself to do things like festivals, traveling, retreats, anything of the sort, any spiritual experience that could allow me to become a person of higher consciousness. And then I realized that I was living a life by default, not a life by design. And that for me is something that can never happen. I'll never let that happen. The idea of settling is one of my biggest fears, if not the biggest fear that I have. I have no desire to buy a home and be tied down to one place for my whole life. I have no desire to work for somebody else for my whole life. I'm a light worker, and I realize that if I want to shine my light on the rest of the world, then these are things that I need to be doing. Mediocrity is just something that I will never settle for, because I know that that's not what I'm here for, and neither are you. You are here for a higher calling, for a higher purpose also. But what I realized, that if I continue to wait for everything to fall into place, for enough money, for everything to be perfect, then mediocrity is exactly what I was headed for. Light worker is what I am, and what I realized is that if I want to have something to offer, if I want to be able to teach people, if I want to be able to shine my light on the rest of the world, then I constantly need to be learning. And the only way that I'm going to learn is through experience, and by attending these soul-enriching, soul-enhancing retreats, festivals, anything, destinations. And it started in January when I was able to say yes, or when I made the decision to say yes to going to a place that I had been meaning to go for over 3 years now, which is San Luis Obispo, California. I decided to go on a yoga retreat there, and since committing to that, and now that that's come and gone, I have actually become addicted, because I realized that I was so excited up until I got there, and it totally changed the person that I was. I was vibrating on a whole different level. My frequency was much higher than it usually is. I was so elated for such a long period of time before it actually happened. I feel an incredibly strong energetic and spiritual pull to go, and that alone, in my opinion, is enough of a reason to attend. And it all started out just a few weeks ago with a casual conversation, because I knew that the host of the retreat, which is called Truth Arising, had recently just hosted one about a couple of months ago, and I knew that she was going to have another one and I wanted to be a part of it. So I inquired and I asked her to give me the details, and I told her I want in. And then just a few days later, she told me that she wanted to make sure that I was 100% in if she held the spot for me, because there was only 3 slots left. And without even thinking about it, I responded right away and I said, yes, I'm all in. I am all the way there. And it was a full body yes. I can't even think of another time in my life that I felt such a strong yes, just a yes with my entire being. And that right there was it. I knew that I needed to go. Thank the universe that I said yes when I did, because 2 days after I had committed with my full body yes to going, she announced that it was sold out. Just a week prior, she had told me there was 7 slots left, and then within days it sold out. That right there shows me that it was meant to be. And here's the most captivating part of it all, is that outside of my rent payments, I have never funded something like this before. I have never paid for something that was going to be this expensive, and it doesn't even scare me a little bit. That shows me that it was meant to be. And just a few months ago, I would have been the person who said, it's too expensive, it's not in my budget right now, I'll wait till next time, I'll save up money. But it wasn't until the beginning of this year when some higher power had made it clear to me that I was never just going to magically come up with some lump sum of money to be able to do something like this. And then if I said yes, everything was going to fall into place and I could make it happen. That's why it doesn't scare me. So I realized that if I wait until everything falls into place, my financial situation is perfect, my lifestyle is perfect, my relationships are perfect, then I'm going to be waiting for forever. Or I'm going to be 50 years old before I even make the first leap of faith. And that's why I've never made it happen in the past. That's why since I was 20 years old, I've done nothing but talk about it. But it's time to focus on the now, to not just dream all this stuff up, but to live this stuff, to make my dreams my reality, to focus on what I can do now so that I can find my Zen, find my Ananda, and be the light worker that I know that I am. Of course, when you share this with people, they're always going to have something to say. Some people in my life believe that I need to pay off my college loans, or that the money needs to be going to my credit cards, or that I need to have a certain amount of money in the bank before I can say yes to stuff like this. But what I know is that money is just energy, and that I'm a magnet for abundance, and that if I tell the universe I'm ready for this, I'm going to be provided for. I'm going to make it happen. That's how bad I want it. And I feel so empowered by this decision and so at peace with the decision that I made to go to Tulum, my spirit destination, that it couldn't come soon enough. Just talking about it, I get so lively, so lit up, so excited. And now I want to turn it over to you. What is something that your soul has been calling you to do for a long time? And I invite you to look deep inside yourself and understand why you haven't made it happen yet. What is your roadblock? What is your mental block? And ask yourself the question, is it a full body yes? Energetically, do I feel a pull with every part of my being to make this happen? And if so, I invite you to go for it. Don't even think twice about it, just go for it, because this is gonna show the universe that I'm ready when you are. And it's gonna show them how bad you want it, and they're gonna be right alongside of you. So let me know what happens, all right? Love you very much. Mwah.